Fantastic. So have the block and the strap within arm's reach. We're going to begin on the back. A nice place to begin. Take a moment and just stretch out. Let yourself get nice and long. Extend the legs. Relax the arms. Take a nice deep breath in. Just let it all go. And take one or two more just like that. Nice deep cleansing breath. Letting go of any tension. Don't know what that was. Letting go of anything that you don't need. Letting go of any mental preoccupations. And just notice the body on the mat. Notice the breath as it flows through the body. Notice areas of the body that are connected to the earth and areas that may not be as connected yet. And just lightly scan from the top of the head down to the toes. Noticing if you're holding any tension in the jaw or the face. Sometimes we gather between the eyebrows. See if you can soften the neck. Let the shoulders grow heavy. And the arms and legs sink into the earth. The pelvis gets nice and heavy. And we just notice what it feels like for the front body to sink into the back body. And see if you can notice the breath as it comes in. And stay with it to where it lands in the body. And we'll take that next inhale and we'll bring it into the uppermost part of the rib cage. The breathing space between collarbones and shoulder blades. And the next breath comes into the middle part of the rib cage. And you discover here that you can breathe into the back. And the next breath comes into the lowest part of the rib cage. And here we play with the diaphragm. So the diaphragm draws down towards the ankles on the inhale and recoils back up on the exhale. And tying it all together, just breathe in upper, and then middle, and then the lowest part of the rib cage. And we breathe out from the lower to the middle to the upper. And breathing in upper, middle, and lower. And breathing out lower, and then middle, then upper. And just breathe. And feel. And gently we'll bend the knees. Go ahead and take the block on the lowest level. We'll press the hips up and take the block underneath the sacrum. And then slide it down so it's low underneath the hips. And you should be able to just begin to extend the legs long. And you might take this one leg at a time, especially if the lower back is a little bit tender. And just notice once you're in this pose, if you feel any tightness or crunching in the lower back, you should not. If you do, you might need to slide the block a little bit bit closer towards the feet. And ideally, you might feel just a little bit of a pulling in the front of the hips. And you can take the hands to the hip bones and just use the weight of the hands and the warmth of the hands to invite them to soften. As we find a little psoas release here, which is just such a nice way to complement your day. So as we lengthen out the psoas, we slowly bring the body back into a parasympathetic response. So the psoas muscle is tied into the central nervous system. When we get tense or it gets tight, it can put us in a fight or flight sympathetic response. And it can shut down our breathing, not shut it down, just make it really difficult to breathe. It can affect your appetite, affect your digestion, reproduction. So letting the psoas soften and release helps relax the body into this parasympathetic, rest and digest space. And just let the breath flow in. Let it flow out. And stay for one more breath. And as you're ready, gently bend the knees. Walking the feet in, lift the hips. Release the block and slowly lower it back down. Extending the legs again. And just notice if the body feels a little bit different this time. So maybe the sacrum is a little bit more connected to the earth. Maybe the breath is a bit fuller. And stay here for one more breath. And go ahead and reach for the block again. We're going to take it on the lowest level again, and this time underneath the head. So lift the head up and slide the block underneath the head, and then slide it out until the chin connects with the neck. So the block's underneath the back of the head, not underneath the neck at all. And the chin comes down towards the neck, and you find just a little bit the back of the neck stretch. And see if you can soften the lower back down. So sometimes tension in the neck shoots down to the lower back. So see if you can keep the lower back grounded. Maybe give the jaw a little wiggle. Let the shoulders stay relaxed. And just breathe. And let yourself be. And then slowly releasing the block. And place it off to the side. The head return to the earth. And just notice again how you feel. Letting the back body relax. And from here, we're just gently going to find the feet. So begin to spread the toes, turning the toes up towards the sky. See if you can keep the hip flexors relatively soft here. You can always bring hands to where hip and thigh meet. Just let those muscles relax or just feel them. So you're always welcome to touch yourself anywhere just to notice what's happening with muscular engagement. That's not weird if you're checking yourself in a yoga sense. And then bring chin by the neck and bring hands behind the head. So fingers come to the back of the head and the thumbs land just in front of the ears. And gentle energy out through the heels. And take a breath in and draw the tailbone towards the heels. So you notice that the pubic bone begins to pull up And the front body begins to hollow a little bit. And then breath in and tailbone towards the heels. And then breath in. And following muscles underneath the rib cage, we're just going to lift the head about an inch off the earth. So see if you can keep the shoulders relaxed, energy through the crown of the head, and the belly begins to hollow and fire. And breath in, and tailbone towards the heels. And breath in, and see if you can peel yourself up a little bit higher so the head and the heart lift. And feel your core. And take a breath in the back. And tailbone reaches long. And breath in. And let yourself peel up maybe just a little bit more. Then we'll hold it here for 4, 3, use your core, 2, 1, and take a breath. And pressing through the crown of the head, we're just going to lower a third of the way. And breath in. And press through the crown and lower another third of the way. And breathing out. And breath in. The last time, reaching through the crown of the head, and we'll slowly lower it all the way down. Great job. Release the arms and slowly begin to bend the knees. We're going to plant the feet on the earth. Make sure feet are about hip distance and just walk the heels in a little bit so they're a little bit closer to your bum. And find all 10 toes and press them down. And just lightly pull up on the pubic bones. Let the tailbone reach long. And once again, hands come behind the head. And chin by the neck. And take a breath in. And the tailbone reaches long, hollowing the belly. And breath in. And using the muscles once again underneath the rib cage, we're just going to curl up a little bit. So pressing energy through the head, lengthening the spine. Breath in. And tailbone pulls up, pulls down towards the feet. And breath in. And we curl up a little bit more. Keep pressing through the crown of the head. Notice your toes. We're going to stay right here and take a breath. And on the exhale, we're just going to turn the left rib cage towards the right knee a little bit. Stay lifted. And then come back through center. And breath in. And right rib cage turns towards left knee. Stay lifted. And then come back through center. And take a breath in. And slowly lower it down. So just a little bit of oblique today. And bring the hands to the knees. Knees come into the chest. And maybe give yourself a little squeeze, a little rock. Massaging the lower back, letting it feel good. Sometimes it's nice to circle around in the sacrum. We're going to walk the hands over to the right knee, hug it in, and extend the left leg long. Excuse me. So you've got 2 options with the left leg. You can extend it long along the earth, or you can bend the knee and plant the foot. So just noticing what your body needs. And circle out that right ankle. Maybe bring a little bit of a circle into that right hip. And circling the right knee in and around. And then from here, go ahead and reach for your strap. And we'll loop the strap around the sole of that right foot. And hug it in and slowly straighten the leg. And floss the strap up to the ball of the foot. And if you can, maybe slide the hands down the strap. And then once you're set up here, gently press that left heel down if the leg is extended, letting the hips square. And gently draw the right toes in towards the face. So you can always keep a bend in that right knee, as much or as little as you need. And then just breathe. Just find this moment in stillness. Notice if you have any accumulated tension again in the face, the forehead, or the jaw. And then we'll take the straps into the right hand and slowly lower that right leg out to the right side. And the left hand finds that left hip. And we just anchor it down. So reach out through that right heel. The right leg grow heavy. And we find our little inner thigh. Finding a stretch in the groin. Excuse me. And breathe. Very slowly on the inhale. Draw the leg back through center. So you can always engage the core a little bit to draw the knee in. You can always soften the knee a little bit as well. We'll take the straps into the left hand and the right arm reaches away from the shoulder. And we're just going to cross the body with that right leg. So keep that right hip nice and heavy to start. Notice if you want to go further. And what I want you to do is notice if the body wants to go further, not if the mind wants to go further. And if the body is like, yep, let's keep going, then you can always bring that right leg over to the left side. So that's a little bit of an opportunity for mindfulness. Noticing where the body is saying yes, and the mind might be saying no. And the mind is saying yes, and the body is saying no. Ideally, if the body is saying yes, the mind is also saying yes. And that right shoulder stays nice and heavy. And gently on the next inhale, find a bend in that right knee, pulling up from the pubic bone, bringing the leg back through center. We'll take the straps in both hands just for a beat here and draw the toes in towards the face. And just noticing if maybe you've got a little bit more room in the back of that right leg. And then gently release the tension, bend the knee, release the strap. And we're going to hug that right knee in. And let the left leg go long if it isn't there already. We're just going to pull up on the pubic bone and take a breath in. And then slowly slide that left knee into the chest. So it's a little bit of a lower core exercise here. And walk the hands over to the left knee. We're just going to let the right leg come to the earth. So you can bend the right knee, planting the right foot, or extend that right leg long. And with the left knee hugged in, again, circle the ankle. Maybe circle the hip. Just noticing what the body is looking for on this side. It might feel different, especially in the hips. We vary from side to side as well as from day to day. And then when you're ready, go ahead and grab the strap once more and loop it around the sole of that left foot and slowly straighten the leg and floss the strap up to the ball and slide the hands down. And gently press that right heel into the earth with the legs extended, letting the hips square. And draw the left toes in towards the face with as much or as little of a bend in that left knee as you need. And again, listen to the body on this one. So you might begin with a bend, and when it feels easy, you might just straighten it just a little bit, just to test it. And take the breath into the back of the body, back of the leg. And then we'll slowly take the straps into the left hand this time. And the left leg lowers out to the left side, and the right hand can find that right hip. We're keeping ourselves anchored down, reaching out through that left heel. And see if you can let that right shoulder stay nice and heavy too. And then use that left hand. You can always take the hand, creating a little bit of a sling to support the strap, support the leg. And just breathe. Slowly on the inhale, bending into that knee, pulling up on the pubic bone. Draw the leg back through center. Straps to the right hand, and just slowly let the leg cross the body. You can stop here with just a mild cross. Left arm reaches away from the shoulder. And just notice, maybe this is enough. But if you notice the leg keeps drifting to the right, that will be a sign from the body that maybe you can go a little bit deeper into this twist, letting that left leg reach more towards the right. Just keep that left shoulder nice and heavy. Wherever you end up, just follow the breath. And if you find the mind wandering, invite it back to the sensations of the breath in the body, anchoring you to this present moment. Very slowly pulling up in the pubic bone, subtle bend in that left knee, draw the leg back through center. Straps in both hands, draw the toes in towards the face one last time. So maybe breathing a little bit more straightness in the leg, maybe not. It's up to you. And then gently release the strap, release the leg. We'll hug that left knee in. And take a breath in and pull up on the pubic bone. And then slide that right heel in, bring that right knee into the chest. So both knees are hugged in once more. And breathe in. And breathe out. Bring the chin by the neck. And take a breath in. And just lightly pull up on the pubic bone. And then breath in. And curling forehead towards knees, find a little ball here. And the next breath brings the hands behind the knees and we straighten the legs. And the exhale rocks you all the way up to a seat. And find a nice comfortable seat on the mat. And just let the fingers touch down on either side of the hips. And see if you can round the back just a little bit as you draw the tailbone down to the earth and press up through the crown of the head. And feel your core fire here. And turn the palms to face up towards the sky. And the inhale reaches the arms overhead. And the exhale returns them back down. And inhale, we raise. And exhale, we lower. And so this next inhale, gather everything you need for your practice. And press it all together with the palms. And bring it all home to the heart. And just pause here with this awareness, finding an intention, something to anchor your awareness to what you seek, or maybe just to this present moment. And breathe it into your heart, feeling your intention or awareness. On the exhale, we release it out to the universe, guiding the hands overhead, letting the fingers just drift back down to the earth. And take a breath in and watch it go. We're going to find our way to table, coming on the hands and knees. Let the fingers be spread nice and wide, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And find all 10 fingerprints and press them down. Find your finger knuckles. and ground them down. And find the tops of the shins, press them down. Notice when you do these two things, you begin to fire the core a little bit more. So finding a way to bring ribs towards hips, just a touch, just to fire the core. And press through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. Gently turn the elbows towards the knees. So we're engaging the back muscles and the backs of the arms. And from this incredible place of strength, just let yourself flow through a couple rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze, and exhale, rounding you away. So see if you can keep pulling up on the pubic bone just a little bit throughout this practice. So inhaling, the belly still pulls up even though it's reaching towards the earth. And exhaling, it's rounding in as we lengthen the back body. And listen to your spine here. Notice just how much or how little you need this pose today. Give yourself one more round of breath. One more round of cat-cow. And we come back to a neutral spine as you're ready. So press down through that left shin, and we're just going to extend the right leg, tucking the right toes, and rock back a few times, pressing that right heel back. And the next time the heel presses back, keep it there. Find your core, find your right glutes, and let the right leg float up behind you. And see if you can level yourself off, both hands supporting you, and let that right hip drop a little bit so the hips are level. Maybe you stay here, maybe that left arm reaches forward. So that left shin is supporting you, the core is holding you steady, and you're reaching through that right heel. And take a breath. And on the exhale, hand and knee come down to the earth. So there's more than meets the eye with this pose. And just gently rock the hips a little bit. There's a lot going on in the body. We can use yoga to make things as easy or as hard as possible, it seems. So extend the left leg back this time. Weight into that right shin. And just rock that left heel back a few times. And the next time it presses back, we hold it there. Use that left glute and raise the leg. Let that left hip drop a little bit. So if I came by with a little tray, I could put it on your lower back and things wouldn't slide off. And maybe that right arm floats forward. So press in through that right shin, reach back through that left heel, get nice and long, and just breathe. And slowly hand and knee lower down to the earth. Thank the good Lord. Rock the hips. So we're going to take that. We're going to do a little bit of a, I forget what it's called, extended table Superman. We're going to do a couple of these in rapid succession. So on the inhale, the right leg extends, left arm reaches, finding your, some people call this Superman. On the exhale, hand and knee touch down. Inhale, left leg and right arm. And exhale, we lower. See if you can keep the core engaged. Inhale, right leg, left arm lift. And exhale to lower, moving with your breath. Inhale, left and right. And exhale to lower. We'll do 3 more each side. So just feel your way into this, keeping the core engaged, keeping yourself from shifting far off your center. I actually practice this with a foam roll on my back. So the thing can roll off, that's fun. And at the end of the 3, return to your table. Rock the hips. Walk the hands forward, 1 handprint. Inhale guides you forward, finding a lazy upward facing dog. So the pelvis grows heavy, the heart reaches forward. And take a breath. And draw navel towards spine and slowly shift back to child's pose. So letting the lower back lengthen out here. And just let everything go for a couple breaths. And relax the belly. Relax the head. See if you can keep the arms active here, however. So fingers are spread wide, fingers reaching towards the top of the mat. Sit bones reaching towards the heels. And the inhale guides you forward, lazy upward facing dog. And this time we'll tuck the toes, lift the knees, press up into plank. We're just here for a sec. Take a breath in. And then slowly press it all the way back to downward facing dog, where you can adjust hands and feet where you need them. Make sure your feet are at least hip distance wide, maybe even a little wider. And give yourself a nice big base. And pedal out your dog, taking your dog for a walk. Just feel into the back body. And when you find stillness, just notice the body here. Notice the fingers spread wide. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Crown of the head reaches towards the thumbs. You can always have a gentle bend in the knees, reaching up and back through the sit bones, lengthening the spine, drawing the front ribs in. Breathe in. And then softly bend the knees. And we'll walk the feet towards the hands, taking a slow walk all the way to the top of the mat. Let the feet arrive underneath the hips and we find a forward fold. So you're always welcome to modify a forward fold if you need, maybe soften the knees a little more, maybe add in blocks under the hands. So any version that works for you. Let the head be heavy. And notice if there's anything that's hanging out in the mind that can just dribble out of the top of the head. Roll onto the mat and then roll away. Just let it go. And breathe. And then find all 10 toes. Bend the knees. And pull up in the pubic bone as you draw the tailbone down towards the earth. Find your lower core and then slowly we roll up. When you arrive, inhale reaches the arms overhead. And we'll just grow long on one side, finding a little float, and then grow long on the other side. Just creating space in the side body. And then bring the hands back to mountain. And let the palms face front. And find your toes. And see if you can bring the chin a little bit closer to the neck. And find the breath in the back. And the inhale reaches the arms overhead. And we anchor through the left foot and float to the right. Inhale through center. And we anchor right and float left. Inhale through center. And exhale brings the hands to the lower back, interlacing fingers or forearms. And then lift the heart, draw the ribs in, take a breath. And then slowly we fold to a flat back. So ribs towards hips, find your toes. Lift the arms off the back and take a breath. And then we bow, using your core. So shoulder blades settle on the back, palms press. Breath is in. On the exhale, the hands come down to the earth. Inhale presses you to a flat back. Then the exhale, the right foot extends back to lunge. And we bend into that left knee and we press back through that right heel, sinking the hips. Breath in. And exhale, left foot steps back to downward facing dog. And just settle here with a breath. Find your fingers. And from your feet on the inhale, we ripple forward to a plank. Let's lower the knees. And slowly lower all the way down to the front body. And palms around mid-rib. Tops of the feet press down. Nose touches down, get long. And with the pelvis level on an inhale, we slowly peel up into low cobra. So the head, shoulders, and heart lift. Tops of the feet are pressing down into the earth. We find that lower back. One more breath. And exhale to lower. And gently pressing through table, making your way back to downward facing dog. Making any adjustments that you need. And just breathe in. Breathe out, no rush. And the next inhale raises the right leg. Option to bend the knee, fan the hip open. And then keeping that knee bent, come back through center, knee to nose, find a little crunch perhaps, and then step that foot through to lunge. Inhale to lengthen. Then exhale, left foot comes to the front and we bow. Inhale is flat. And exhale, we bow. Soft knees, heavy head, slowly we roll. Taking it all the way up, sweeping the arms up. And then we anchor through the right foot and float to the left. Inhale through center. And we anchor left and float right. And inhale brings us back. And the exhale brings the hands to the lower back, interlacing fingers with forearms. Lift the heart. Draw the front ribs in, find your toes. And slowly we fold to a flat back, ribs towards hips. And lift the hands off. Take a breath. And then we bow. So the heart reaches towards the earth. Relax the face. And the next exhale releases the hands down, the legs to the earth. Inhale presses you to a flat back. And exhale, left foot extends back to lunge. And we let the hips sink. And we breathe length, pressing through that left heel. And then the right foot steps back to downward facing dog. And just breathe in. And breathe out. And from the feet on the inhale, we ripple forward to plank. And this time we lower knees and chest and chin. And then we press the heart through, tops of the feet press down, and we lift it up into an upward facing dog. So palms are down, knees are lifted, pelvis is heavy, beautiful. And then slowly make your way back to downward facing. And just breathe. And just be. The next inhale raises the left leg. And you can bend the knee, fan the hip open. Then keeping it bent, draw the knee back through square, in towards the nose. Then step it through, finding your lunge. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, right foot steps to the top, forward fold. Inhale is flat. And exhale, we fold. And slowly we roll one vertebra at a time, softness in the knees. Let the shoulders stay heavy. And when you arrive this time, just draw the shoulders up and back and down. And once more, inhaling up and exhaling back and down. And pause for a moment in your mountain pose. Finding all 10 toes. Finding the breath in the back. Press through the crown of the head. And the inhale reaches the arms overhead. Then we pause here, turning the pinkies towards each other. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. Pull up on the pubic bone. And we'll gently sit into our chair. So bending the knees, finding the core, keeping the spine nice and long. And maybe you sit just a little bit more and take a breath. And then we fold. And the inhale presses you to a flat back. On the exhale, the right foot extends back to lunge. We sink into that left knee and take a breath. And then right knee lowers to the earth. Untuck the toes. And the head and the heart come heavy over that left thigh. And just breathe. And when you're ready, finding your Anjaneyasana, so the right shin grounds down, the left heel is anchored, and you can reach the arms overhead, or you can just bring hands to that left knee. And with the hips drawing forward, the heart lifts. Beautiful. Beautiful. And breathe in. On the exhale, slowly let the hands come back down. And the right hand finds the earth or a block. The left hand comes to the sacrum. We let the hips draw forward, taking a breath in. On the exhale, we twist the heart around towards the left. Maybe that left arm reaches up towards the sky. Let's finding a little low lunge twist. Beautiful. And the next exhale, that left hand comes back down. We're going to find a little, I don't even know what this is called actually. We're going to angle that right shin over to the left. So the sole of that right foot is facing off the left long edge of the mat. And the left toes face towards the top of the mat, right where they are. The left hand comes down by that left ankle. And the right arm reaches overhead. And the weight shifts into that left foot. You can feel just a little bit like you're leaving that right leg behind. And this really should get into the groin. You might feel this a little bit more on the left side than the right. And find your breath. And right hand comes back down and right shin swivels back. We're going to tuck the toes and take a breath. And then step that right foot down a little bit, pivoting the heel down. Shift that left hip back, right hip forward, finding pyramid. And take a breath in the flat back. And then on the exhale, we bow. So find your left big toe. Let that help you stabilize the body. Hands can be on either side of that left shin, that left foot. You can also take blocks underneath the hands. And slowly on the inhale, bend into that left knee. We're going to lift the right leg up behind. So just playing momentarily with warrior 3. So see if you can find here what we found in table. So let that right hip drop a little bit. Hands to blocks or the earth. Reach energy through that right heel. The hips be level. Find your left toes. Soft bend that left knee and maybe lift the arms up. Maybe hands come to heart center. Maybe airplane arms. Just a little balance here. And then bring the hands back down to the earth. Step that right foot back to lunge. Take a breath. And then slowly step it back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. And just breathe in. And breathe out. And give yourself a moment of grace here. So maybe bending and straightening the knees. Maybe a child's pose. And one more breath. And then softly bend the knees and we'll walk the feet to the hands, making our way to the top of the mat. And the inhale presses you to a flat back. And exhale to a fold. And slowly we roll up one vertebra at a time. Find your toes. And the inhale reaches the arms overhead. And we turn the pinkies to face each other. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back and pause. And breath in. And lightly pulling up on that pubic bone, we'll sit back into our chair. Last time for chair. So engaging the core, lengthening the spine. Maybe sit just a little bit deeper. Beautiful. On the exhale, we fold. Inhale finds a flat back. And exhale, the left foot steps back to lunge. So sinking in, breathing long. And then lower that left shin down, untuck the toes. We let the head and the heart rest heavy just for a breath. And when you are ready, heaviness in that left shin, anchoring through that right heel. Maybe again, reaching the arms in your Anjane, maybe hands to the front knee. Let the heart lift. Let the spine be long. Beautiful. Relax the shoulders. And then gently bring the hands back down to the earth. And this time the left hand comes to the earth or a block, and the right hand to the sacrum. Hips draw forward. Inhale to deepen. And exhale, we twist. Heart to the right, right arm maybe to the sky. Find that left shin. Find that right heel. Activate that left glute even. And on the exhale, the hand comes back down. And we breathe long. And then that's right, we've got to do this, guys. So swivel the left shin over towards the long edge of the mat, the right long edge of the mat. And the right toes face front. The right hand comes down by that right ankle. And the left arm reaches overhead. So it feels like it's an extended side angle, but the back leg is kneeling instead of extended out. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more. And that left hand comes down and we swivel it back to lunge. Hands frame that right foot, tuck the left toes. And then we'll step that left foot in, heel down. Draw that right hip back, left hip forward. So find a pyramid first and just bow. And you can let that right knee be as soft as you need it. Hands wherever you need them. That left heel stays heavy to the earth. Just breathe in. Breathe out. And then gently bending into that right knee, walking the hands forward. So again, transitioning here to warrior three. So hands can be on blocks or the earth the whole time. We're just going to straighten the right leg and extend the left leg back. Left toes point down towards the earth. The left hip drops a little bit. So it's as if I could put something on the small of your back and it would stay there. And then if you wish to balance free, find the toes, soften that right knee. Maybe the arms reach back or maybe the hands come to the heart. Maybe you wobble, that's okay. And then hands back down, extend the foot back to lunge. Take a breath, beautiful work. And then exhale, right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Just breathe in and breathe out. One more breath. Let it go. And on the inhale, we're just going to step the right foot to the top of the mat. Lower that left heel and then turn the feet so they're facing off the left edge of the mat. So feet are parallel, hands underneath the shoulders. We're in a wide-legged stance. And the inhale presses you to a flat back. On the exhale, we just find a fold. So you can take as wide a stance as you would like, or you can shorten it, bringing the feet a little bit closer together. You can turn the toes in. And you can always rock the weight out of the heels into the balls of the feet just a little bit, just to notice where your balance is. Notice areas of the legs that turn on when you shift your weight. And you can walk the hands in So if you want to do a little more core work, who doesn't, right? You can walk the toes, fingers in line with the toes, and soften the knees, and pull up on the pubic bones. You're kind of rounding the back body. You're finding a little crunch here. And inhale, lengthening the spine, and exhale, just finding a little bit of a crunch. And this is entirely optional. So if you prefer to do nothing, that's okay too. And then walk the hands out underneath the shoulders. We're going to walk the hands over to the left leg. So hands to that left foot, align the spine with the left leg. And slowly bring the hands through center. And walk the hands over to the right foot, aligning the spine with the right leg. And then gently we'll turn the right toes towards the top of the mat, finding our lunge. And last time, stepping it back to downward facing dog. And just breathe in here. And breathe out. One more in. We're going to lift the heels and slowly lower the knees to the earth. Untuck the toes and sink the hips back towards the heels, finding a child's pose. And just let yourself get nice and heavy. And so maybe you recall how you felt our first child's pose, the practice. So notice how you feel now. Maybe things are a little warmer. Maybe the breath flowing is a little more freely. Hopefully you feel good. And slowly walk the hands in towards the knees. We're going to press ourselves up to a kneel and then just come off of the feet, finding a seat. And take the legs out in front of you. You can scoot yourself up a little bit so you're closer to the top of the mat. We're just going to find a nice comfortable seat, finding your sit bones, energy through the heels. And just as we did before, see if you can round the lower back just a little bit, drawing the tailbone down to the earth, pressing through the crown of the head, finding your core here. Inhale guides the arms up. And then using that core, let it bring you into the forward fold. So you may not come down as far as usual. You can just let your hands land wherever is appropriate. And so in using the core muscles, maybe even softening the knees a little bit, we're trying to not get the hips, the pelvis to overextend. We're trying to use the core muscles to support the lower back. Relax the head. And staying low, we're just going to reach the fingers out forward, energy through the heels, and take a breath in. Pulling up on the pubic bone, we'll slowly roll back, keeping the head and the heart nice and low as you transition all the way onto the back body. When you arrive, guide the arms overhead. And slowly bend the knees. And gently bring the knees into the chest. And so if you have your block nearby, go ahead and reach for it. You're going to bring the feet to the earth and slide the block underneath the sacrum this time. So it's going to sit higher than it did before. So the hips should be well supported here. Take the block on the lowest level, the widest surface area. And then just slowly bring the knees into the chest and straighten the legs up towards the sky. So ending with a Viparita Karani today, legs up the invisible wall. And just as we did at the beginning of our practice, let the body begin to sink. Let the back body feel nice and heavy. Let the legs relax. Soften the forehead and the jaw. Maybe parts of the front body sink into the back body. Let the breath flow nice and easy. And so you are invited to stay here for your Shavasana, or if you prefer, you can bend the knees, returning the feet to the earth and releasing the block. The choice is yours. Notice your next breath. Stay with it all the way to the top of the inhale. Follow it all the way to the bottom of the exhale. So if you're in Viparita Karani still, just bend the knees. Return the feet to the earth. Removing any props. And we'll gently bring the knees into the chest. And slowly roll on the right side of the body. And pause there, cradling head and hands. All the intention or the awareness that you created for your practice, trusting that the universe has heard your call. And give yourself an abundance of love, compassion, and gratitude for taking time for yourself today and for any other area of your life that needs a little healing. And slowly make your way up to a seat. Inviting the hands home to the heart. Turn the gaze towards the fingertips and let the eyes soften closed. Allowing the wisdom of the mind to bow to the far greater wisdom of the heart. And thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. The love and light within me honors and acknowledges the love and light within you. And from my heart to yours, namaste.